Howdy, and welcome back to PowerWash Simulator, where today we're going to be cleaning the private jet. I haven't actually done this one before, so that's pretty exciting. This is our first one, experimenting together. Blake Thrust messages saying, "Perfect timing. As you can see, I've encountered a few issues with my private jet. That's what comes from flying too close to the sun, or in this case, a volcano, and the ocean. After your application and discretion with my excavation drill, I know you're exactly who I want on the job. As you'll discover, my jet is not without its idiosyncrasies. I trust you to be your usual discreet self in return for an excellent rate. Blake." Well, you know me, I am nothing if not discreet, as long as you're paying me well. There is an additional challenge to this one in that we need to clean the anti-gravity and laser attachments first, which I'm assuming this is the laser. Full disclosure, the mount and there's like two pieces that you don't want. The wiring? Yeah, laser wiring. We just want the laser, and then there's like these anti-gravity stuff, and that's what we'll get first. So we'll go ahead and start with the laser. Ooh, shiny. I don't want to be messing around with this thing. Ooh. I don't want to get too crazy with it. It looks like it might be a little bit quicker than the helicopter, which is what I'm hoping for. Just because it's been a while since we've had a little level that I can edit with relative ease. I'm starting to feel the burn when it comes to our time constraints. Hope everyone is keeping safe, by the way, with the winter storm that's been coming through. It doesn't look like it's been too bad here aside from a lot of snow. But I know in other places it's probably other places that aren't equipped to handle it as well. I'm not really all that equipped to handle it either. I've got my truck is a Ford F-150 from oh, that's the laser mount. Careful, not the laser mount. An F-150 from my childhood. I'm borrowing my grandpa's truck. Never got around to buying my own vehicle, which is kind of tragic. But hey, as long as I got one that runs. That's the problem. He's got his own vehicle, by the way, so it's not like we're swapping back and forth. He's just letting me use his truck while I save up money for bigger purchases in the future. But the problem with that is it's not really equipped to handle the snow. It's kind of an older vehicle. I think it's a 1997 question mark, maybe a 2000, 2001. I think it's 97, but I could be misremembering. Where is... Okay, laser's clean. $10 for that. Kind of a ripoff, but whatever, dude. I don't think we don't get the wing wiring. We just want these anti-gravity stuff. Purple. This thing is cool as hell. I thought it was just going to be a jet. I didn't expect it to have these strange attachments to them. I wonder what the point in having an anti-gravity thing on your jet is. Because it would act more like a hovercraft, I imagine, if you wanted it to, in which case why do you need a jet? Unless the jet travels at speed and the anti-gravity is more of a just a thing. Like a local thing. When you're local, you just hover. And then when you're flying, I wonder how that works as well, because anti-gravity would it negate the need for lift? Hard to say. I'm not a physicist. I am simply asking the questions. It's also kind of hard to see the dirt on these things. Assuming it's because there's quite a bit of rust, but I don't know for sure. So that's the anti-gravity booster. Already 3% of the way done. Yeah, this thing's going pretty quick. I'll get the other one here. I want to take my time and go a little slower, see if I can't get it a bit better than we did that time. We'll go in like groups here. So obviously that'll get most of the sides of this thing. Should be a third of it. And then we'll circle around and get all the bits we couldn't get. Paying a little extra attention to this one and to that one. We'll get up on this side. There's all kinds of little three-dimensional bits that are kind of difficult to see and or get with our present situation here. I think we're doing pretty good though, the percentage-wise. Percentage-wise, at least, it looks like we're doing a better job. Carefully go over these. Yep, okay, that's done. And I believe the second part of those will be up on the top of the wings. Why is there a soccer ball here? Disgusting. Looks a little simpler to clean, luckily. Nothing too crazy. I forgot what the name of this achievement was. After we get these, of course, we'll get on top of the plane and work from the top down. Seems like a rational thing to do with the wings, being as they are, since you have a top and a bottom. As long as they aren't. It seems to be one piece, but we'll start at the top and then go down to the bottom, is what I'm trying to say. There's a top side and a bottom side. Working from the bottom up doesn't necessarily seem too useful. This thing's pretty big. It's not as big as the helicopter, so I am pretty excited about that. I'm ready for a break. These last couple of episodes have been breaking me. The Helter Skelter was crazy big. I didn't expect that. Okay. Just creeping around the edge here, trying not to fall off, don't mind me. Then we'll get the anti-gravity panel proper. The one challenge I could see with this level is like with the helicopter, it had all those densely packed things going on with it. You kind of had to climb up in the middle there. Now see, this is what confuses me sometimes. The anti-gravity panel seems to be completely clean, so I don't really know what's going on with the oh, there's an underside question mark? What? That didn't seem to be true on the other one, but hey. I don't remember getting down on my body and slinking around like a worm playing night crawlers. There we are. And it pops. Suspicious modifications. Alright, now we can get to the juice of the level. Oh man. All the way up here. Seems to be the highest point. We'll start with the tail. Horizontal stabilizer, as it were. And actually, we got quite a bit of money going, so I want to know if we can afford... I think I did buy it, but I'm not sure. I think I bought the turbo nozzle. The pro turbo nozzles bought... Oh, the short extensions bought, so we did buy those. I'll pop the short extension on there just to give us a little bit of extra power. Static wicks are cleaned. Perfect. Excellent. Now that we got this thing pretty much fully kitted out, I know there's one upgrade that's coming, and I don't know if I have to buy that. I don't think I get it for free, at least not for all the guns, so I kind of want to save up so I can buy that when it comes. I'm not sure when it comes. I don't know if it's like the final level or what, but I know there's a big boost coming. And I think that just stems from me looking at the achievements and trying to figure out what I need to do ahead of time so I don't miss any. And I think I'll have to buy it, so I'm trying to save up instead of splurging on buying all the soap nozzles, which I don't really use. But that's getting ahead of ourselves. Right now we're focusing on this vertical stabilizer. Which is actually horizontal. Oh no, this is the horizontal stabilizer. You know what's weird to me? I'm afraid of heights, but I've been flying to get to these cruises, so I've been like reflecting on... Luckily there've been no tragic accidents, or I probably wouldn't be flying anymore. I may not even be here right now. But what's curious to me is that somehow engineers have persuaded us to get into little metal cylinders. Cylindrical, I was going to say. Little metal cylinders. And hurtle ourselves at hundreds of miles per hour in the sky. And we all just do that casually like it's no big thing. That's crazy to me. And you work into that computers are doing a lot of the flying these days. And wow, that's also it's also a little bit psychotic to my brain. It's not saying I'm going to stop flying, because I got to get to them cruises. However, it is crazy to me. That's still bizarre. Sometimes I just find myself enamored by stupid little things like that, like refrigerators. That's crazy to me too. We figured out how to make a room stay cold. And it's like no big thing. Everybody has a fridge now, so who cares, right? But like, slow down for a second. That's crazy. You ever looked into how fridges work? Somebody figured that out. Is that not... Somebody figured out refrigerators. That's cool as hell, man. I'm not just talking about the little fridges either. We got big refrigerators. Keeps lots of meat cold. Dairy fridges in the freaking freezers. We don't have to keep ice boxes anymore, man. Not that I ever had an ice box, but still. Harry Dresden uses an ice box. Because he's a wizard and he burns out his refrigerator, but still the concept of a refrigerator is freaking cool. Literally cool. No pun intended, but we will accept that there was one there. We may even pretend that it was intentional, and masked behind a layer of irony by saying pun not intended. It was actually intended the entire time. I won't take no for an answer. What is this thing? Is that part of the vertical stabilizer? Can't we just call it the tail? Oh, there's a rudder back here. I do wonder what the concept of, like, okay, the lift is one thing, but then we got the rudders and stuff, and I wonder how much of this is like, because air is technically a fluid dynamics, right? So like, did we just go, oh, boat but for sky, or what? If it works with water, it must work with air? It's like, I don't think fluid dynamics was necessarily a thing. That's the elevator. Oh, because it's a flap. I don't think fluid dynamics was a thing with like the Wright brothers. I think they had like a fluid dynamics class you could take in college. Okay, the elevator's done. So like, what's the deal? Somebody spill the tea. Boat but for sky. That's all I keep thinking. Now, another thing is like, we learned to pressurize the tube. I wonder what the deal with that. I also, like, the guys that I worked with were relatively older gentlemen, and they were telling me, one of them was telling me about their dad in World War II, or their dad in World War, whichever, I guess it's gotta be II, right? Surely, no matter how old this dude is, his dad was not fighting in World War I. But he was telling me that they had, like, this will make you grateful for advancements in technology, if nothing else. They were having this dude... There's some kind of, I don't know if he was an engineer or what his designation was, but he would have to strap himself to the wings of the plane. And I forget what he had to do there, but there was something he had to do. It was like he was an engineer. It was the engine. Something was wrong with the engine, so every time they took off, they would need someone to fix the engines on the wing of the plane or something like that. And they had this dude just strapped to the side. This was before OSHA, I'm sure, and even if it wasn't, it's the military, so I think there's like different, like OSHA doesn't designate the military is essentially what I'm getting at here. Something was going on, or they had to strap themselves to the wings of the plane and just be up there. No, not for me. Like these days we figured out, oh, you pressurize the cylinders or whatever. I imagine you're keen to learn some of the specifications of the jet. Sure, buddy, you're likely an more interesting story than the bathroom guy. Tell me about it. What's the deal? As it's you, I'll divulge. Some kind of secret agent? Does he just work with the mayor? Oh, and then he doesn't tell me anything. Classic. Classic switcheroo. Fuselage. Vertical stabilizer. We might as well get that. We're already down here, unfortunately. We'll get back up there and finish the rest of the vertical stabilizer, but we might as well get this part done, and then we'll get the fuselage all together. Yep, okay. Already 20% of the way, that's pretty good. 5. I think this will be another situation where it gets quicker as we go down. Yeah, I missed a spot there. Oh, the vertical stabilizer comes out to here, eh? Never would have thought to check that. Let's switch our back to the short extension. But anyway, yeah, things have come a long way from all these little weird things we used to do as a society. And a lot of people take that for granted. Like, there was a time before the internet, kiddos. Can you believe that? A lot of crazy things people have done. Like, I imagine myself now. Could you... like, now I'm... Obviously, looking back, I say, dude, I'd never strap myself to the wing of a plane. But I wonder if I'd been like... If they forced me to in the military, would I do it? Or would I just take a dishonorable discharge? Or would I get shot? Or how did that work? I don't know. Would I just be a coward? I wouldn't strap myself to the wing of a plane, brother. I can't see that happening. But is part of that due to my raising? If I were raised differently, would I say, yeah, sure, whatever? Because it's just the times. That's just what happens. Hard to say. Pretty wild to think about. I just think about myself now, being afraid of heights and not wanting to be on the plane to begin with. Versus, like, having to as an obligation to my country. They just don't build us the same ways, I reckon. This is a beautiful plane. And going back to the boat thing, I feel like something goes wrong in a boat, in my head, I know it's not necessarily more likely, but in my head, something goes wrong in the boat, I hop on the radio for help. And there's a chance I might be saved, even if I'm bobbing out in the middle of the ocean. But then again, would it be better to fall from the sky and, you know, just better to fall from the sky and take whatever challenges come from that? Or would it be better to take my chances in the ocean and maybe get ate by a shark? That's another interesting question. Like, I feel like my survival rate's probably higher in the boat situation, but in the plane situation, I don't know. That's not looking too good. However, the trade-off there is the end that comes from the plane crash would hypothetically be less traumatizing than the death that came from being consumed by sharks or freezing to death in the middle of the ocean, you know? All the crazy. This isn't a very chill conversation. I apologize for that, but it is. I think about things like this. This is like, what is the balance here? And why is all this wiring done on the outside of the plane, I wonder? Could they not? Ooh, the rust is being a little finicky, even for this guy, huh? Wow. Even for this guy, the rust is clinging pretty good. Fuselage wiring. What about that? Is that just shadow? That's just shadow. I do balance things like that in my head. Like, what is the real life balancing act going on here? What's the trade-off? And like, if I had to pick a fate, which of the fates would I choose? I mean, the obviously chosen fate is, okay, the boat sinks. I get on I get on one of the vessels on the side. And help comes rather expediently, and I survive with no like cannibalism, no sharks, none of that stuff. That's the ideal version. I don't go through the terror of a plane falling out of the sky. Hey, seems like a pretty good fate to me. That's the one I choose. But like if I had to choose a 50-50 coin flip between the other two, that's tougher to say. Do I want to take my chances? I don't know. If I don't know what's coming, do I want to? Quite puzzling. Quite tricky. That window's clean. I reckon we'll get the other side of the window from the floor. Almost at 40% here. Working our way through. Yeah, the rust is sticking to this stuff. Is that an indicator or what? Cockpit sensor? I just feel like I wouldn't want all this wiring to be on the outside of my plane lest anything happen. At least if it's on the inside, there should be some kind of access to it. Or maybe it's not like a critical system, it's just like, oh, my laser doesn't work, uh-oh. You know? I feel like if it's just the laser, maybe it's not that big of a deal. And again, I don't really know what he needs the laser for, or how often he uses it. Maybe he frequently uses the laser, so it's like a critical thing, and then in which case, again, why is it outside? Maybe it generates too much heat. Maybe the wiring generates too much heat, and they use the atmosphere outside to cool it. You really can't say. It is a fictional machine after all. I am merely guessing. Large portion of the top of the plane is clean. Soon we'll be making our way down to the wings one at a time. A very beautiful plane though. They always do such a good job with the details. We're also closing in on the end of our campaign, our main campaign here. We still have plenty of levels to go, but it surprises me how few there are in the main campaign just by how quickly it felt like they went. Although this jet looks superficially like any other, it's far from it. Yeah, it's got a laser, I saw. Are you going to tell me more of the stuff it can do? Its fuselage is made from graphene matrix that is lighter than air but stronger than steel. Oh, so what do you need the anti-gravity for if it's lighter than air? Should it float? Should just float like a balloon, that's what happens. Not only can it reach speeds of over 888 miles per hour, but it's also technically the world's largest the world's largest pencil. Okay, that's funny. Oh, that they just call the flap. Let's go slow, make sure we get all the rust. Continue cleaning our wing mount here. Wing wiring, make sure we get all of that. Of course, we'll want to get that from both sides. Yeah, if anything slows this down, it's going to be like the 3 dimensions of it all. But it looks like we're going along at a healthy clip. I'm looking at like an hour maybe. A little bit if we go faster once we get down on the ground like I'm anticipating. We could do this in under an hour. That's an exciting idea, but first we got to get through the 50%, you feel me? Let's get through that first, and then, oh, the wing light cleaned. Nice. Static wicks are cleaned? I don't know what static wicks do. I assume it has something to do with, like, as you're passing through the air you get static buildup from all that stuff, but I don't know. I'm not a scientist, man. A little over 50% of the wing, we'll say, is probably good. Oh, we got a little bit here and a little bit there. Even with our heavy-duty power washer, it appears that we're struggling to keep the thing clean. Don't want to leave anything behind, that's for sure. There, make sure these flaps are good and clean. We can get the turbojet engine. It's a little cloudy today. Look at all that. Usually it's a bright blue sky. Suppose it can't always be sunny in wherever we are, Muckingham. Switch to our stubby. Since we're down here, we don't want to even attempt to try and clean under here with any sort of extension, or I'm sure it will be a very frustrating experience. Go too far forward either, because I feel like we would topple off the edge of the wing, so I think we're gonna stick around this area. Oh no, we got plenty of space. I was underestimating the length or width or whatever of the wing here. And I reckon if this thing is giving us as much trouble as it has been, maybe I need to bust out the scrubbing nozzle. Just to be sure it gets it all. I also noticed a little flicker of green here. There's a little bit more. See some right there. But I think I noticed some there as well, so we'll go ahead and get some of that fuselage wiring. Can't believe I missed some on the window there. Oh my goodness, we left the window unwashed. How are these other windows looking? Okay. Of course we missed some on this thing. Should have cleaned that first, I would have thought, but hey. Leave anything behind. Might be able to reach that from like this area. Get some of the backside of this thing. It could be we just got to get it from the ground. Not giving me a lot of choice here. I guess we could work from the ground for a little bit. Let's go ahead and get this wing finished up. I'm actually a lot taller than I remember being as soon as I got down on the ground, huh? Get these flaps done. They give us just enough space to work over here, don't they? Details. Come across here, get the front of the wing. Get some of the wiring. Okay, the vortex generator. Those seem to be relatively easy to get. 57% of the way, by the way. Nice. Making good progress. Get this underside of the wing here. These vortex generators aren't cleaning as well as I had hoped. There we are. There we are. I think right here is an edge for the wing, so gotta make sure to get that edge. I think the problem was we didn't get the vortex generators very good from that side first. Yeah, our wing is almost done here. About to get hit with some more plane lore as soon as we hit 60. Vortex generator tended to. Say, Dirt Finder, if you can discreetly find your way over to the mansion as soon as is humanly possible, I'd sure appreciate it. Right away, Mr. Mayor Jeff Jefferson VIII. The laser gun situated under the fuselage uses a state-of-the-art crystalline compound to create an energy feedback loop that instantly plasmatizes the air. Wow. That sure is neat. Consequently, its beam reaches upwards of 3 million degrees Fahrenheit on a hot day. Damn. It's a little toasty. Alright. How do you make something that withstands a blast of 3 million degrees Fahrenheit? I feel like the entirety of your being would be devastated being in such close proximity. See, this is another. The wiring is proving quite difficult to clean. There we are. I suppose if you're in 3 dimensions, it shouldn't be that difficult to clean. Scrub this wing mount. %of the way clean. I guess we're here, so we'll go ahead and get these hydraulic pipes. It's a little difficult to manage with this angle, but hey. As part of the landing gear, the hydraulic pipes are a little difficult to reach. Maybe he can use some of his advanced technology to create water that goes around and through items and cleans the insides of them as well. Just evaporates all the dirt as soon as the water hits it because it goes through all of the physical matter. Then how does it distinguish between dirt and physical matter? Well, that is certainly a question, isn't it? Landing gear door is done. Get these tires. As always, remember that the bottoms of the tires sometimes are a bear to get, so don't forget those. Get the landing gear between the tires. This is the first time we've had paired tires like this, so definitely want to make sure we get that. The wheel is cleaned. Oh, we're coming around here. Might as well grab the rest of this landing gear on this side, eh? Beautiful metalwork here. Yep, landing gear's done. Tires done. Wheels done. Perfect. Let's go back to cleaning this stuff. Okay, wing mount sensor's done. Fuel tank mount. Oh. That's where the fuel goes. Oh, that's a pretty clean sweep right there. Man, oh man, I'm good. Wing mount sensor clear. I wonder how much power this thing has to draw to do that. I'm distracted by the logistics of this stuff. Warning laser. Is that what that is? Don't worry, fellas, it's just a warning shot. It only plasmatizes the air to 3 million degrees, but it's just a warning. Just a warning, don't worry about it. The main goal here is just going to be to get this wing mount done. Almost at 70%, we're making good time. As long as we keep up the good work. And I reckon we'll go ahead and get some of the fuselage while we'll go ahead and clean up down below. I know I said we'd start from the top and work our way down, but it seems like we're kind of working our way around the thing. Doing a barrel roll, as it were. I'm mostly concerned about the wiring. I feel like... Did I get the hydraulic pipes? Are those done? That's the downside to this thing. Can't really tell. All of it's all over the place. So how do you know if you ever got it done completely? 70%. Vortex generator complete. These old vortex generators. I don't know why I'm so obsessed with the vortex generators. Okay, Good. Wish I could focus on one thing at a time sometimes, but hey. Go ahead and get this fuselage down this side, since it looks like it remains. And we'll work our way, we'll get back up on the wing and get all those parts. We'll get the bottom side of this turbine. Get this landing gear since we're here. There's a whole nother landing gear up front we should be aware of too. Okay, hydraulic pipes are done. Those are the ones I was most worried about. That's done. Now we can just focus on the landing gear. Currently got Mashal's theme song stuck in my head, and I haven't even watched Mashal. I know conceptually what it is. Kind of. I don't know if it remains that concept through the whole show, but almost 80% of the way through. Wheels done. Tires have not yet finished. Oh, that one has. Now that one has, so we can kind of stand up. Oh, landing gear's done. Okay, all we got left is the door, I believe. Okay, the door is finished. Now all we've got is the wing here. Go ahead and tend to the wing. Feel like the wing will take us to 80. The wiring's done. I'm waiting for the wing to ding, and I forgot we have the whole top of the wing to clean, so odds of that happening, not quite as much as we might think. Look at our little van over there, isn't he cute? Oh, the wing mount's clean. Nice. Got a static wick. I thought we had all those, but I guess we didn't. Obviously, going that fast through the air generates a lot of heat. Yeah? Once landed, it's possible to cook a beef bourguignon on its wing in less than 3 minutes. Don't know what that is. Kind of hoping for a little more detail than that. Like the first one was good. It's made of graphene. Cool. Flies at 800 miles an hour. Neat. But then the next little details we get are kind of. I mean, the laser was good. Cooking the plane on the wing isn't all that interesting. You can cook an egg on a sidewalk on a summer day, so what, buddy? I think the long extensional service here. Work our way up over the wiring to make sure we get it all. It also moves so fast you don't have to worry so much about the spiral. It's going good. Alright, well, we'll worry about that when we get up there, I think. Let's finish up the cockpit, shall we? What's that say? Sensor array do not block. Looks like it was already blocked up with dirt. What is that? Another cockpit sensor. Cockpit sensor. Cockpit sensor. Echoing conchs. Here's a little piece of trivia that some people know and some people don't. Did you know the proper pronunciation of the seashell, known as a conch, is conch? I didn't. I found that out, well, within the last couple of years. I don't remember how recently it was, so that should tell you how recently. But still. Somebody was telling me that they found that out when they were playing some game. They had an event called the Echoing Conchs, and they were like, oh, that's not how it's pronounced, surely. And then they found out that it's actually, like, the proper pronunciation is conchs. And then, like, recently, well, more recently, I don't know how recently they decided this. I don't know how quickly the English language changes, or if conch is even from the English language to begin with, but it's become acceptable to refer to it as conch. But it is officially conch. That's crazy to me. Such a goofy name for a shell. So just know if you're playing Silk Song and you're like, darn these conch flies, they're actually called conch flies. And that sounds very silly. Can't be mad at it if it sounds silly. Darn these conch flies. And that also brings to question, should Conkeldurr from Pokemon, should that be a water type? Even though it's I think a fighting steel? I don't remember. I think it evolves from a timber. It's one of those it's the old one, the elder, Conkeldurr. It's got the 2 concrete pillars. Is it Conkeldurr? I've always called it Conkeldurr. Conkeldurr. I don't know what that was. Okay. Yeah, I always called him Conkeldurr. But now that I'm thinking about it critically and I'm seeing the Pokemon in my mind's eye, I'm pretty sure it's Conkeldurr. Concrete and elder. But Conkeldurr is pretty funny. So I'm gonna stick with that. Put that in your pipe and smoke it. also don't think it's spelled like a conch shell, so it's pretty obviously conch elder, or pretty obviously concrete and elder, I should say. So we can get rid of the water typing joke. It wasn't serious. Don't hate me, Pokemon fandom. It wasn't ever intended to be serious. Alright. Curious as to what we've missed so far, but hopefully not much. I'm just going to go ahead and clean this thing with a swirly nozzle. Gonna make sure we don't miss any rust this time around, and we probably still have. I could hit the right button. All the metal. 92%, it makes you wonder what we've missed, because I'm sure I've missed something. I don't know what it is. I'm guessing probably a window. Probably a wiring. Oh yeah, that's probably a good place for a ladder actually. Helps me to hit this turbo engine. Yep, I think we got all of it on that side. I could switch back to the short extension. And we can go over this stuff. Pop on down and get the side of this thing. There we are. Now we can get some of these flaps. Oh, we'll get the flaps as we go. We won't be too particular here. We'll still finish the flaps before the wing, so hopefully we'll get to the point where it'll say, "Ah, you're really close. Here's your next 3," and there'll be 3 that we haven't cleaned, but I'm pretty sure we've missed a wiring. At least a wiring, if not more. Because right now I feel like it should be down to about the wing, and even clearing the flaps isn't clearing it, so we must be, I think we got some wiring here we need to get. Fuselage wire, yeah, we missed a lot of wires, I see. Static wicks. And the wing, of course. No windows, that's good. Not that the windows were ever a big problem, but we knew where the windows were, so that would have been good. Wing's almost done. So now we're just hunting down the fuselage wiring here. That's 1. There's 4 that we've missed. How's this one looking? too good. Okay, 2. That fuselage wiring is good, that fuselage wiring is good, that fuselage wiring is good, that fuselage wiring is good. Okay. There must be some on the bottom, I reckon. I think that's a laser wiring. And that's laser wiring. Fuselage wiring is good, good. Okay. Still missing one. Didn't get all of the dimensions on this fella here. Okay. So now we got the static wicks. Those are the easiest to clean if we can find them. There's 3 of them. Oh, I don't think I got these, did I? That's 1. I feel like I probably didn't get the other one either. A very curious spot. It doesn't really lend itself well to... It's hard to tell if that's even the one. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and figure out which ones these are. I know there's 3 here. Oh, it's these 2. That's bizarre. Alright, I thought we had them. Guess we didn't. Job's complete. How about that? A little bit longer than anticipated, but not too terrible. Another exemplary example of power washing. I admit I was skeptical of your prospects of cleaning stains created at such high temperatures, but once again you've exceeded my expectations. So I'm exceeding yours. Feel free to use this hanger for any larger odd jobs that you may pick up in the future. Well, thank you, Blake Thrust. I'm sure we'll get right on that. And next time we'll be doing Clean the Frolic Boat, but until then, I'll see you next. I kind of muddled up the ending there, but in the next episode we'll be cleaning the Frolic Boat. Until then, I'll catch you later. What is a frolic boat? That's my question. At any rate, catch you later.